What's up YouTube? Ryan, aka The Lucky Schmuck, back here once again with another video, and today we're building the rack behind me. That's right, we're building this. How, you ask? Well, I already did it, so come along for the journey. So as you guys saw, the concrete place had the right size. The ones at Lowe's or Home Depot, those type of stores, didn't have the correct dimensions. So pickup truck looking like a little bit of a low rider right now. Springs are kind of hurting, but we are loaded up. Got everything we needed for the rack system. Stick with me here, and going to move some stuff around in the garage in order to make room to stack these guys up so we can get started building. Let's go, guys. We are back from Lowe's and the wood is in the garage. I'm going to set up the rack system here. So I got to lug around these cinder blocks. You already got these cinder blocks. Tanks are set up here. Gonna move this stuff around, shuffle all this stuff, bring a bunch of this random stuff from the middle over to here. So stick with me. I'm gonna set up a time lapse and now that the garage is all kind of cleaned up and got the space for the rack system, I'm going to start building it. Now, this is the simplest form of a rack system that I know of, and there are many other YouTubers and people that utilize fish rooms that use this build. There's no nails or glue or anything like that. It's simply held together by cinder blocks as well as 2x4s or 2x6s or some type of wood. And the weight of everything kind of helps keep it down. It's pretty sturdy once you get all the tanks up there and they're filled with water. There's other ways you could brace it, tie it into the wall, etc. But as for the most basic implementation, it's simply cinder blocks layered with wood and tank in between. Each individual build will be a little different based on length. I went with a 10-foot long build because they simply sell wood in 10-foot long blocks or in 10-foot long pieces. They also do it in 12-foot as well. So, you know, plan accordingly. As far as height, I'm going with 20 longs and 10-gallon tanks. So I just measured everything so that I'm going to have at least 6 to 8 inches above my tanks before the next tank. So when I'm going in there and I need to clean them or remove fish or service them in any way, I'll have plenty of space. A few pointers to keep in mind when you're measuring for your length: account for the length of your tanks as well as the length of the cinder blocks to get the correct length of wood that you'll need. Same thing for height. You know, count for the height of the block, the height of the wood, the height of the tank, the height of the light or whatever you're gonna put on top of the tank. Do everything like 2 or 3 times and then, you know, purchase materials. I would suggest drawing a build on a piece of paper. I did that multiple times. Plan it out. Even with a lot of planning, I'm sure you'll probably make mistakes. However, the good news is everything is so cheap that even if you buy too much or make a mistake, it's really not that big of a deal, and nothing's being nailed together or really cut. So you don't have to kind of destroy any of the materials. In this case, I actually bought a few more cinder blocks than I needed, but no big deal. I can return them, or in this case, I'm just going to keep them to use on future projects or if I make any more builds. Once you've got it situated on the ground level and it's, you know, measured far enough away from the wall or as close to the wall as you want it, you're going to want to go ahead and just repeat. Slow and steady, I used the cinder blocks themselves to kind of grind each other to make them smooth. It wasn't that big of a deal. In terms of the wood, I actually used 3 2x4s. Going back, I would have bought a 4th one just to cover the whole entire bottom. Even though you don't need to cover the entire bottom of all the tanks, these tanks are meant to sit on just the 4 corners. However, just for looks purposes, I would have gone with 4 just to cover the bottom, or just gotten some 2x6s instead of 2x4s. Although structurally, it'll still be very sound. I did this myself, as you can see. It took me an afternoon, not really that long at all. It was just repetitive once I got it going. I'm going to go 4 tanks high. The biggest downside of having 4 tanks high is that the first level of tank is really close to the bottom, so they're only 4 inches off the ground. The first level of tank is 4 inches off the ground. I'm a pretty tall guy, so the fact that the 4th and final tank is going to be at about my eye level, which is about 6.5 feet, is perfectly fine for me, and it's below the garage door, and I measure everything for clearance. So I recommend this build for anybody who's making a small fish room, whether it be in your garage or anywhere. It's great because you can construct it. It's not temporary, I mean, it's permanent. However, if for some reason you do need to tear it down, it is super easy to deconstruct once you start draining the tanks and take the tanks off the stand. Literally, once again, no glue, no nails, nothing. Everything will just come right apart. I'll keep you guys updated, obviously, with the stocking of this and any pros and cons I see in the future, but I'm excited to put this to use. Thank you guys for sticking with me to the end of the video. I hope you guys learned something and you can apply it to your future fish room. Stick with me for future videos. Please subscribe if you haven't. I'm gonna have videos coming out soon on how to complete the fish room build. We're gonna put in an automatic drip system. We're gonna do a linear air piston pump, which I've already ordered. We're gonna do a loop system for that. So subscribe if you haven't for future videos. And as a treat for sticking with me to the end of this video, I'm gonna show you a little bonus clip of some cherry shrimp that are really going to town on some green beans. So stick with me. See you guys next time. Appreciate you.